That to my lungs, and I know that she's safe and she's comforted now.
Afterwards, Deirdre's coffin was carried to a waiting hearse to be taken to Kishcame Cemetery, where she was buried alongside her grandfather. Jenny O'Sullivan, RTE News, Ballydesmond.
Talks between Loyalist residents and the parents of Nationalist children in North Belfast, which were designed to ensure the safe passage of the children to school tomorrow morning, have failed to reach agreement tonight. Children attending the Holy Cross School in Ardoyne had been prevented from going via their normal route in June of this year, sparking several days of violence in the area.
Peace and quiet prevailed on the Ardoyne Road tonight as children played for the last time before returning to school tomorrow. The journey for those attending the nearby Holy Cross Primary School should be just a normal event, but the safe passage of those children along the road tomorrow morning still cannot be guaranteed. 9 weeks after violent clashes forced the children to take an alternative route to school, no compromise has as yet been reached between the Loyalist residents and Nationalist parents in the area. Those in Loyalist Glenbryn say their protests result from their community being subjected to a campaign of violence and intimidation from Republicans. Independent figures show 11 families have been forced from their homes in the area since June. It's 250 yards from here where Nationalist Ardoyne meets Loyalist Ardoyne to the entrance to the school behind me, a journey that takes less than 2.5 minutes to walk. Security chiefs say contingency plans are in place to ensure that the children are allowed to walk their normal route to school tomorrow morning if no agreement is reached between community leaders tonight. And as parents of the children involved met tonight, there remains little optimism that common sense will prevail even at this late stage.
Realistically speaking, I think there will be a demonstration tomorrow. My hope for that is, and the best scenario would be, if it's a peaceful demonstration, if the children get to school, I mean, that's all that matters to anybody. Anything else on the agenda can be dealt with. But if the children become sort of bargaining chips, traumatised in any way, then we're in for a very bleak time.
Declan McBennett, RTE News, North Belfast.
Romanian childcare authorities have criticised the Dundalk charity worker Breach Hughes for running what they call a disinformation campaign over the orphan Michaela Porumbaru. Michaela was the subject of a legal wrangle when Romanian authorities insisted she return after holidaying with Mrs Hughes. Breach Hughes wants her to stay in Ireland for medical care and ultimately adoption.
Social worker Alina Stanku brought 3 children she's legally responsible for to Ireland for a holiday, but only came back with 2 of them, Codruta and Maria. The third, Mihaela Porumbaru, is still in Ireland with Breach Hughes, who told the Irish media Mihaela would be sent back to a Ceausescu-era Romanian orphanage unless she stayed in Ireland. Not true, says Alina.
I told Mrs Hughes last time I went in Ireland at Christmas, and I told her this time too that Michaela, she's not going back in an orphanage, she's going back to a foster family.
This is the reality of what Mihaela was due to return to. For the past year, she's been cared for by Elena and Vasily Gerase. Professional foster parents, they're paid by the Romanian state to look after her. Elena says she loves Michaela, who's formed a close relationship with her own granddaughter, Andra. She wants Mihaela to get medical attention in Ireland and is grateful to Breach Hughes, but she also thinks she should come back here.
Și aș vrea ca să colaborez cu doamna dacă nu se poate dintr-o dată acum.
I would like to get along with Mrs Hughes in Ireland, so we will offer to Mihaela a good treatment, maybe a few months in Ireland and the rest of the time here.
Mrs Gerase is not seeking to formally adopt Mihaela. Breach Hughes says she is in the process of adopting the child. But her legal guardian here says Mrs Hughes has not filed any adoption request, despite knowing Mihaela since 1999.
Every person who could adopting the child from Romania must have a request to the Romanian committees. But Ms Hughes never give this request to the Romanian committees.
The Romanian authorities are adamant national and international laws to protect children have to be obeyed, and if Breach Hughes is to adopt little Mihaela, she must do it by the book. Sean Whelan, RTE News, Glodin Valley.
A Spanish woman is in a stable condition at the Mater Hospital in Dublin after a shooting incident last night. A gunman entered Sadler's Bar in Parkgate Street armed with a double-barrelled sawn-off shotgun. He fired indiscriminately into the pub, wounding the woman in the legs. He was aged between 20 and 25 years and around 5 foot 8 inches tall, wearing a black jacket and jeans. The motive for the shooting is unknown, but Gardaí have appealed for witnesses to contact the Bridewell station. And now Claire's here with all the day's sports news.
Thanks, Angus. Meath will play Galway in this year's All-Ireland football final. Meath advance after completely outclassing reigning champions Kerry at Croke Park.
Two formidable footballing forces head-to-head for one of the most eagerly awaited semi-finals in recent years. And very much a day for the Green and Gold Brigade to take centre stage at Croke Park. New look jerseys were on show, but it was quickly apparent it was same old Meath. Ollie Murphy proving his worth in attack. Murphy and Geraghty combined to set up John McDermott, who took his goal in style. Kerry's spirits were lifted on the brink of half-time. Still, Paddy O'Shea's side had it all to do, trailing 1 goal and 6 to 4 points at the break. Yet Meath's masterful performance continued. Kerry at full stretch struggled to contain not only the Royals forwards but also their backs, Hank Traynor displaying his scoring skills. Unfortunately for Kerry, he was one of several who raised a white flag. The green followed shortly after. Substitute Johnny Cullinan on target. The Royals' rout ends Kerry's bid for back-to-back All-Ireland titles.
Some days you just click, and today was one of those days. Everything we kicked went over the bar, and it's incredible feeling. Unbelievable to beat the All-Ireland champions by so much. Incredible.
So Kerry's defence of their All-Ireland title ends in defeat to Meath. The Royals could yet rule Championship 2001. Eamon Horan, RTE News in Croke Park.
And there was no joy for Kerry in the minor semi-final. It's Dublin who advanced to an All-Ireland final meeting with Tyrone. First half goals from John Noonan and Barry Lyons helping the Dubs to a 4-point win. So today's Croke Park results: the Guinness All-Ireland semi-final, Meath 2-14, Kerry 5 points. And the All-Ireland minor football semi-final finished Dublin 2-13, Kerry 2-9. Europe's Ryder Cup team is complete. Captain Sam Torrance announced his wildcard selections after the BMW International Open in Munich today. John Daly won the tournament, taking his first title since 1995 and just pipping Ireland's Padraig Harrington by a single stroke.
Harrington led Daly by 1 overnight, but after a seesaw afternoon, the pair were level on the final tee when Harrington carved his second into the water. To his credit, the Irishman recovered well in the circumstances, his chip after taking a penalty drop finishing 6 feet from the pin. A putt he duly dispatched to save par and finish on 26 under, but it proved 1 stroke too many. Daly, just off the green in 2, chipped to within 2 feet and holed the putt to equal the European Tour record at 27 under par, carding a closing 66. Paul McGinley shot a fine 68 this afternoon to finish on 17 under in a tie for 10th spot. Europe's Ryder Cup team was completed with the news that Spaniard Sergio